Hello, everyone. Like I'm on the wrong mic. Should be okay now. Let me know if not, and let me make the chat available to everyone. All right. I just realized I didn't plug in my second screen, so I'm going to do that now. That way I can put the chat and attendees on a different screen. Hi, Davey. Good to see you. Well, see you in the chat. I'm sure we'll see you in a second. Um, mm, Hello, David. Hello, Edgar, Giovanni. Thank you, Giovanni, for your nice words on LinkedIn. Appreciate it. Hi, John. Hi, Micah. And Flo is on here. So let me promote Flo to panelist. Let me move these little chat boxes. Q&A is here. All right. Okay, so before we get, hi Flo.
Hi everyone.
Before we get started, yeah, couple of things. First, this is like the last office hours session for I think the summer between my vacations and Florian's vacation. I think we'll start again on the 2nd of September. I mean, early September, the first week of September. We might start a week earlier if we're back earlier. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so it'll be easier to coordinate in the community during the summer. There will always be someone from the team on the community. So yeah, we'll focus on our energies on the community this summer. But yeah, that's about it really. And yeah, so if some of you have added the office hour calendar to your calendar, I'm gonna be like deleting events on that. I mean, the configuration is kind of weird, so I'm gonna create a new one and then add it back in app and share it with you so you can add it back again. Because right now it's very inflexible. So for example, I don't have the option to delete like 3 sessions or 4 sessions. If I delete the event, it deletes. Anyway, it's just admin stuff, but so you know, there might be a little bit of a weird things going on with office hours for a few weeks, but it will get back to normal very, very soon. All right, and if you're new to these sessions, know that you have a chat where you can talk to everyone, and you also have a Q&A tab where you can ask your questions. And the idea is that we invite you on to share your screen and walk us through your issue. So David is first with a question. Let me promote you to panelist, David. Ooh, nice. David is working on a template for the marketplace, OpenAI and Xano. And if for those of you who may not have seen, I'll share it in the chat, but we released the marketplace a few weeks ago and we added the option to sell templates. So to add payments on there, I think it was last week. And so if you're interested in like making templates, making them available for free or selling them on a marketplace, it is possible. Hi, Maurice. Oh no, Maurice is Otter's, it's AI,
Hello.
it's Otter's. Hi David, how are you?
Hi, good you? Good to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah, can't put my
so you
cam.
wanna,
Sucks.
no worries, no worries, no worries.
Yes, I'd like to start. Let me share my screen. Screen one should be this one. So maybe to begin with, I didn't use the full Xano template that was shared by Quentin on the video on YouTube. I have a little bit of a different approach. I do most of it on Xano directly. So I have a Xano database where I have, oh, this is annoying. I can change this. I have conversations here, which have an ID here and it related to the user. And here's the name of the conversation, and then all the messages uh, uh, are here, and basically it follows through, so I can have the conversation, the answer, and then the conversation again. So everything is on there. Now the issue is I had to modify a bit the workflow. And if I ask a question here, WeWeb, so everything works on the back end, but for some reasons, I need to refresh here. It opens a new conversation on the left hand panel, and I can't just pull the data from Xano. Where is it now? It's slow. Obviously, for the demo, it doesn't work. Lucky me.
And just to clarify, you watched, because we have a couple of tutorials on this. We have one where we use the OpenAI plugin in WeWeb, but we also have one with Lachlan from Xano where we use Xano directly. Did you,
Yeah,
which
I
one did you
was
start working with? The one with Lachlan?
yeah, both, and then I opted for the one with Lacan
Okay.
because the variable
Yeah.
was directly on the here it doesn't work. Fuck. It doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, that's bad. I can't show you what's wrong now.
No worries. Maybe what you could do, could you record like a short video and share it in the community and walking us step by step?
Yeah, I can do that because now it doesn't work.
No worries.
Oh,
And
That
well, too
happens
bad
all the
for me.
time when we're live.
Too
and
bad for me. Shit.
and for your information, we are discussing with Zano to do the stream. So
Yep.
hopefully soon you're gonna be able to stream those messages.
Yeah, I've seen that on Xano. It looks really cool. I just would like to first have something stable there because I want to build them
Sure.
from a personalized GPT and then
Absolutely.
from there, but then have the first thing that works. Okay, anyway, I'll record a video and and see you soon and wish you nice holidays in the meantime.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, David.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Oops. All right. Okay, cool. So then we had Davey had a question. I don't know, Davey, if you need to was a okay, let me invite you on, Davey. And
Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Okay,
hey,
cool.
yeah, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm
Hey,
good. How
David.
are you? Hey, Florian.
Yeah,
How's it
good.
going?
Doing good.
Just
Uh,
just a little remark before we start. I know that the question you're about to ask, you've already asked like in the community to Florian to Slavo in the chat. Or I don't know if it's the exact question, but just for future reference, if you can like no need to like ask again in the chat in the support chat because otherwise it makes it harder for us to follow the conversation and know if we've helped you or not. So
yeah, this one is actually it's a new one because
it's a
I
new
run a
one.
test. I run a test on the weekend. So the one that you're referring to
Awesome.
was when I was reading the I
No,
was
no,
following the tutorial. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
taking the opportunity because you're not the only one. It happens quite often, and for us, it's sometimes it's a little bit difficult because we end up answering and it's already been answered. So just that I
Okay.
mention it.
Yeah. So no, just Florian, just to let you know that I tried to host the I don't know if you remember about the dynamic indexation
I
page.
do remember. I do
Yeah,
remember,
Let
and
me
I'm a bit late on this
yeah.
to answer you with some more tests. But let's discuss this later.
Yeah. No, it's
just
just
to give
about
everyone just to give
yeah.
everyone the context. We're talking about the dynamic being able to add dynamic metadata to dynamic collection pages.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a tutorial on how to set this up with Cloudflare, but Davey it has several dynamic collection pages, which I think a lot of you will have. So Florian needs to update that the script to be able to enable that. Just
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. It's
And
just so everyone has the context.
so the issue that I'm facing is because of this feature, because it's a marketplace that I'm running it. Everybody that's gonna build a marketplace, they're gonna have the same issue. You want to use your marketplace to attract SEO, get traffic, organic traffic, and the only way to do this is you have this feature. And up to now, I wasn't doing it because the feature is not there. Is not there. So I just asked the WeWeb straight to my Cloudflare. So I put all my DNS, I set it up by DNS, all that stuff. But what happened now is I feel there is a conflict between the worker and the DNS coming from WeWeb because when I try to get rid of the WeWeb hosting to put the worker, so the worker is something at Cloudflare that help you to have the dynamic indexation of your pages. my website crashed literally for entire night. So I left it a couple hours just to be sure if it needed like more time because that was something a bit different, but I was not able to host the website using the worker itself. And I deleted the previous one made through the WeWeb DNS.
Okay, well, let's discuss later. I think
okay.
the best way is to have the worker on the subdomain, so your application. But let's discuss this later.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, cool.
Bye.
Bye, Davey. Talk to you soon. And hi, I think yeah, Sade joined us and Karen as well. So hello, and let's have Edgar jump on. More promote to panelist. It's a question about the drag and drop in the Kanban.
Hello.
Hey Edgar, how you doing?
Hey,
Very good. Thanks, Flo, for answering. I know I'm waiting for your next message, but thanks for even looking into the sticky header thing for me. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm hoping this is going to be kind of easy, but I couldn't really figure out. So one of them is, can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm using Kanban board here, and essentially people will be able to like just move these things around. I'm noticing like when I try to drag it off the screen, like I'm trying to get lower, it works sometimes, and then other times it's like very like buggy. Like I have to get like the exact right position somewhere here before it actually starts scrolling down. Now it's working. So like here I'm gonna try it again. Doesn't work. I got to keep like moving it up and down. Okay, got a little bit in there. It seems like
Funny,
it's
you have scroll bars on every stack, not on the Kanban itself.
yes. Is that the wrong way to do it?
No, that's okay.
If you go to your layout, can you just go to the layout
sure.
to show us?
Could you try to, just for the test, to lower the height of the full Kanban, just to have it a bit,
Okay,
so it could end a bit earlier on the page.
sure. Kanban height fixed. Let's do like 800.
Yeah, just
That
for the
works.
test. Can you test again?
Okay.
Just to check something.
All right. Trying to move this.
Okay, it doesn't help. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's like it seems like, at least from my perspective, it's getting confused on whether it's trying to replace that specific item or you have to like be directly in between two to understand that it's trying to go lower than that. Does that make kind of sense? That's what it seems like to me, at least.
Yeah. Well, I need to talk to the tech team. Drag and drop is always a nightmare. So you know.
Oh, it's one of the main features of this
Yeah, I know.
of these tables I have. I built everything off drag and drop.
But can it be a conflict between the overflow of the Kanban and the overflow of the stack? Because it works on the right column.
It doesn't always work. It matters, like you
Oh, it
have to get
doesn't
it
always.
exactly.
Okay. I thought it
You
would.
see how it's like it kind of goes, but it doesn't go. Like I have to
Okay.
get exactly, and then I have to try to. Yeah. Okay. So this is a bug then. So I could just open a bug ticket for this, and then the tech team can follow up on it.
Yeah, it's more an improvement. I think we need to find a way to make the space bigger
Yeah.
at the end of the stack, so you don't have to really go at the perfect space. So it could be a bit
Okay.
easier for you. I mean, when you are close to the end, we start scrolling. This is something we might be able to do, but I really need to talk to the tech team to make sure.
So Flo, do you prefer like Edgar to create a support ticket, or should we just create a product ticket internally and let you qualify it?
Yeah, it's a product ticket internally because
Okay.
it's not a bug. So it's
Okay.
if we create a bug, I know they are going
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
So.
You're gonna
And then my other question, I'm hoping is easy to. So I created this like it's not a modal itself. I didn't use the modal element, but I would like it to close for the filter just on backdrop click. Is
Ah,
there an easy way to do that?
yes. The best way to do that is to use a component called drop down. So if you go to the add panel
Okay,
here and you look for drop down, yeah,
drop
here,
down.
yeah, use that one.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've used this in other play. Actually, have it for these ones right here.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, you
okay.
can.
So I just
Yeah,
got
and
it.
the nice thing is that you can put anything you want as a trigger. So your filter button here, and
Okay,
then this is a drop zone, so you can add anything you want. And the nice thing is that we built this backdrop feature that is
okay.
can be difficult to do. So yeah, the best
Yeah,
way to do it.
I have it also for like the big modal, but I was trying to
Mhm.
do it for something smaller.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
cool.
But that's the
All
best
right.
way to do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you guys have a good summer. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again in September.
Thank you,
Thank
Edgar.
you.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon,
Thanks.
Edgar.
And
Bye.
I don't forget you. Like you,
All
Dave.
right.
I promise, Dave, I don't forget you too.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. So John is asking, like, can you share more about why drop down is better than modal?
Um, because this one is really kind of okay. So let
See,
me try to.
he started using modals even for tooltips to
Yeah.
get the native on-click outside event.
So model is a section. So sometimes it's easier
Ah,
to use this drop down because it's just an element. So when it's just in one place, then you know that the drop down is near the where you click. Then it's better to use the drop down. If you click somewhere anywhere in the page and you need to have something kind of big like section like, it's better to use a model.
interesting. Had never thought of it. Something
Yeah,
to keep in mind for the academy.
and also a model, as it is a section, you can have a linked section between pages. So if you're creating
Yeah,
a system or a model that is on multiple pages, it's easier to do this with a model too.
nice. Cool. John says, great insight. Yes, I learned as well. And we don't have any other questions in the Q&A. So if you have other questions, go for it. And Vikrant is asking, join late, next office hours happens in September. Yes, we are taking a summer break, so it might happen like late August, but for now we're just saying early September, just to make sure if we need to rest, we have plenty of time to rest. If we can start again earlier, we will. But yeah. How do I prevent double workflows from triggering? And Joyce, I heard new lessons on the Academy. Excited for those. Yeah, Karen. So we have big plans for the Academy. We're currently we're recording new videos for the level 1 because level 1 was recorded before we added classes and the libraries and the components. So level 1 is going to be, yeah, much nicer, much quicker, I think. And we're also hoping to add a lot of mini courses. So I think the courses in the we do already have many courses like for Supabase, for example, or for charts or for Stripe, but we're also going to try to add many courses about like animations, CSS animations, for example, or layouts to be able components, so many courses about components to try to give you more advanced use cases to be able to go more in detail. So yeah, we're going to work a lot on that in July, August, and hopefully in September you have a nice new level 1, maybe a new level 2 and 2, 3 new mini courses. That's the goal. Let's see if we can deliver. If you have any ideas like yeah, mini courses that you would really want to see us make, don't hesitate to ask. Except if it's for custom components, because we already want to do that. We just don't have the resources to do that at the moment. All right, so Edgar has a question about, well, let's invite you back on, Edgar, about avoiding preventing double workflows from triggering. I think it's a really cool use case because it happens fairly often. Actually, I've seen it a few times in the community, and it's not always easy to debug.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me again. I was trying to rush really fast because I wanted to be fair for everyone else too. So this one is, I have like a create item. So let me just go to this one right here. Take a little bit. Okay, so if I add an item here.
You're not sharing. You're not sharing.
We
Oh,
can't see
sorry.
your screen.
Sorry about that. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is creating an item. If I click really fast here and create item, it triggers multiple workflows from occurring. So it'll create like multiple items. So I did something that I thought would help, but it doesn't seem to help. I created it that as soon as you click this, it becomes disabled state. But for some reason, it doesn't. I guess like I'm clicking it faster
Okay.
than it would, then it actually becomes disabled. So I'm wondering if there's any best practices to just like make it only happen once versus like it occurring multiple times. Because I'm also worried that if someone's internet is a little bit slower, then they're just going to keep clicking on it, and then they're just like triggering like a ton of the same workflows.
So I guess you created a variable to be able to disable it to trigger the state of the button, right?
Yes.
So we are going to use this variable in the workflow, and in the workflow you have a pass-through condition.
Okay.
So the idea is to add this action to make sure that if the user clicks again, it won't go through the workflow.
Okay.
So let's if you can
Yeah,
you
let me try that.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Okay. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So really at the first, or maybe it's the first action you do is created this. Okay, perfect. This is the variable we are going to look for.
Yeah.
So before this, click the plus button and look for pass-through condition. Yes, this one.
Okay.
Perfect.
Got it.
And in here, you just have to bind this pass-through condition, the condition
Okay.
on the right, to this variable, the is create item disable.
Oh, okay. This one.
You can
Okay.
search for it if you remember the name.
Yeah,
I always forget, but you can search for
yeah, you
it.
can search it indeed.
Oh, I keep forgetting. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah, me
that.
too.
Okay.
I keep forgetting as well.
We don't
Okay.
have the autocomplete, but we do have the search.
Okay. Awesome. I didn't know that. I always like keep having to click on these. Okay, so I bind it to this,
Yes, exactly.
and then
And
okay.
so as this is the first thing you do in the workflow, really you won't be the user won't be able to beat this. So even if you click really fast, I mean, it's almost not possible. So
Okay.
so really the first thing you are going to do is to set up this variable, there is create item disable, and so if you click again, it won't go through.
Okay. All right. Then does it make sense to do that for all my buttons where I want to really restrict it from triggering multiple workflows? Create.
Yes, especially when you have some because in here I guess you have create item is making calls. So when you do
Yeah.
receive here call, it's a good practice to do this. Yes.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. So we have just Elias. I see your hand raised in the by Edgar. I see a hand raised in the attendee, so I don't know if you want to ask a question or not. If you want to ask your question, please let me know in the chat or in the Q&A section. Yes, I do want to ask. Okay, I will. You don't, but you don't want to post it in advance. Okay, I'll just invite you on, and let's see if we can help.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so basically I have side navigation. And when I publish it, it takes very long when I click on each page. It takes long to load each page. I can show it. There's nothing crazy going on there. I have 2 pages that load maximum like 500 something records, rows of the table, and other pages that are empty, and they have the same. It loads the same slow. I can show it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
How do I share my screen?
You
Can I share my screen?
You should be able to. Yeah, there should be a button saying
here it is.
share screen.
Yes. I have it now. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Not yet, but yeah, there we go.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So here I have my app. Now when I'm going to click here, the dashboard is empty.
Okay. Can you,
I
before you
clicked it,
click,
didn't go.
can you open first, can you open the
No,
inspector of the
now
browser?
let me just reload it.
Can you open the inspector of your browser? Can you hear us?
Yes. Not probably my internet problem.
So a couple of things that would help. The first thing is if you go to the console.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so there's several things that might help us. So reference. There are 2 things that would help us. So if you go back to, oh, okay, it looks like your internet.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the connection is very bad. So there's probably a lot of things happening. That's okay. Maybe I can share some theory with you, and you can play around with that and let us know if that helps. What's your experience with are you a traditional coder, or are you more of a no coder?
And I'm a
No
no coder.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, same as me then. Okay, so there are a few things that might be helpful. The first thing you mentioned, like 500 records on a page, that's actually a lot. If you ask your browser to...
I'm paginating it.
Yeah, okay, perfect, cool. So I think then when you want to debug to try to find out where, like the idea is you want to find out where it's slowing down. So in order to do this, the reason I first asked you to look at the console is because you mentioned that when you click on dashboard, nothing happens. So I just wanted to make sure that something happened in the console, because if nothing happens in the console,
it probably didn't load, because when I started sharing my screen, it looks like my internet crashed. I don't know why that happened. So the dashboard didn't click, probably was my issue with my internet. But now when I'm now clicking, I can now click on the dashboard. I can click on it. The dashboard is empty, but it takes like 2 seconds to get clicked. Like.
Okay, so a couple of things to look at. First, the console, just to make sure that when you click, something happens. And also in the network tab, to see when you click what happens. So
Mhm.
in the fetch slash XHR of the network tab, when you click on dashboard, things will happen. If you're fetching collections on the dashboard page,
Mhm.
for example, you should see the collections being fetched, and then you can see as well how long it's taking for them to fetch. And you can
Mhm.
also see like the amount of data that's being downloaded on the page. Maybe I can show you. I don't know if there's anything you think of as well, Flo.
Something that is bothering me is that the dashboard share the same menu on the left, right?
Yeah.
And this was also reloading. So if you were using a link section, this part should not be reloaded. So did you use a link section for the menu?
I did use yeah. So it's not the thing that it didn't load before, probably because of my network. It crashed when I tried to
Okay.
share my screen.
But the
Yeah,
left
but
part
just
is not reloading, right?
it's not loading. No, it's not like the side navigation is real. Is like it blinks. Let's say when I'm
Okay.
reloading.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it is like linked instant to
Okay.
all the pages. Yeah.
Well, then we definitely need to take a deeper look. Like Joyce said, the workflows there, what you load on page load, the amount of data you are loading, and also make sure to have fixed height on your tables. This is really important because if you have
So
auto on your height, your CPU is going to calculate for each cells the height. So the idea is this is a good practice to put a fixed height for all the cells. This is really important to improve your performances. And
yeah.
then
So
he used some conditional rendering on components and things like this, but I mean, it needs a deeper look.
yeah. So again, what I was saying is that even between empty pages that are empty, I didn't put any components, any elements on the page. It's just an empty page linked to the side nav. It's still taking like a second or two to. It takes a bit time to load.
Yeah, this is weird. So there is
Yeah, this
definitely
is really
something.
weird.
Yeah.
So can you create a support ticket to show us, and with a video where you can
Yeah.
record a
Okay.
video to show us?
Yeah,
Definitely.
And
I'll do that.
I'll just share my screen quickly in case it helps. But the idea is what I was mentioning is, so here I'm in an app, and so I'm in the network tab, and I'm looking at a fetch XHR and here I can see quite a few things. I can see the time. So here, for example, my icons were took like slow, which is huge. So I might want to check that. I think Zoom is a big thing because by the way, this app is usually very fast, and I thought my browser was gonna crash. So Zoom is definitely not helpful for that, and that didn't help. But anyway, if I was investigating, I would look at this. I would look at, okay, this is a problem. Why is this taking so long? And I would also look at the amount of data that is being like downloaded in my browser. So for example, you mentioned, I mean, I know you have empty pages that are not working well, so that, we definitely need to investigate that. But maybe in this tab, we will discover that something is being fetched that you didn't realize was being fetched. Maybe you haven't worked on app load, for example, that is fetching data, or on page load that you forgot about. Or I'm not saying you, I mean, I'm saying you, but
I'm
anyone
pretty
really.
new. I'm pretty new to Webflow to WeWeb, so it's possible that I did some mistake. Yeah.
No, sure.
No, and I mean
We will help
it's
you to find. This is
yeah,
just
yeah,
guess because
sure, and yeah, it's completely guess. It's more to
Yeah.
kind of give you a few ideas to debug, and others as well watching the replay to debug. And something that Flo mentioned as well is fixed height, and I'm pretty sure I don't have that on this. So it's here, for example, it would be better if all my habit cards had a fixed height. So just changing from auto to fixed would also improve.
yeah, when
The question is how
it's
it would work.
almost.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Okay.
Yeah,
The question is how to work on responsive. So what I did, I had the table. I have the table, and I did a fixed height, but I wanted it to take up the whole space. So I put it inside a Flexbox, and then stretched out the
that's okay.
table. So
for,
yeah, it works.
for the main
It works
container.
great.
For the main container, it's absolutely okay. The idea is not to have a lot of auto for repeated elements. So if you do that for the main table, I mean, you can have something dynamic for the parents, and so your browser is going to calculate that only once. But if you add that for every cells in your table, it can take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
here you
great. I'll
see
check
I'm
out
using-
the.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, just saying. Yeah, I'll check it out. The console, see what I'll find there.
And the fixed height, if you need to change it. So here, for example, I have a Kanban and I have a lot of repeated items. So I added a fixed height of 100. And now I'm in mobile mode, and I can, you know, I can say on mobile it's 75. So you can also change that if you need to. But yeah, but please create
I'll
a
do
support ticket, and
I'll do that.
and so we can take a look and help you in the context of your project.
If there's no other questions, I have another question, but I don't want to take up everyone's time.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So my question was, having multiple languages. Yeah, having English and like normal languages is okay, but let's say a language that goes from right to left, like Arabic or Hebrew. So the site, all the components and elements should be like flipped. Others do. Like I come from Flutterflow. Flutterflow does that automatically. The question is if there's a way to do that in WeWeb.
So the answer is yes, but you need to work a bit. So you may need to create your own text components and then change the alignment depending on the language.
So I need to manually make on each element to just go the different side.
Yeah, that's why it's better if you do your own component for that. Well, I can show you.
Yeah, I get that.
You got that?
No, I'm talking about the whole app. Let's say the sidebar, the side nav, instead of being it on the left side, it should be on the right side.
Yeah. For this, same for this.
So
you need to bind the property, the alignment property.
So here you have
I
it.
get it. So I'll need to do it manually.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, and you could have a variable depending on the language, and here you have a browser language. And you have the
language, the page language. I mean the language.
Page language.
Yeah, if you go there, you will find language.
So based on you can have a conditional alignment based on this information.
And is there a way I can get the location or the IP address so I can know the location and make some properties based on that?
Yes, you can, but your user will have to allow it. So you got this little.
How can I do that?
So it's I think it's now in an extension. So you need to go to plugins. Yeah, here you go to extensions, and then you have PWA. Yeah, this one. So you can add this one, and now if you go to your workflows, you're gonna have a lot of new actions, and one of them is geolocalization.
So it's here.
Geolocate. Yeah, this one.
Oh, that's nice. But does that mean that it only works if the user has downloaded as a PWA, or it works just perfectly?
No. It works fine even in the browser. Yeah, it's called PWA because it's kind of PWA actions features.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's great to know. That's great to know that I have more actions.
Yeah. You can you can look for this, but again, the user's gonna have to allow it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
The only way to prevent you from doing this is to do that on the backend side, and then from the IP and from specific API, you can find out where they come from. But otherwise, not possible.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I think we'll leave it at that for now. Let me find my so many Zoom panels. Where are you? Change to attendee. And oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. Micah is saying you can get the user's time zone if you don't want them to need to allow location services. That's a pretty clever
This is true. Yeah.
very
May have
clever.
access to that, yes.
Nice.
Maybe, so if we don't have any other question, I can share my screen and kind of show you a way to manage kind of a debounce, because before we had this use case with this create item when we had to disable this button. And sometimes if it's a component like a counter, if your user is clicking quickly on this, you don't want to run this workflow a lot of time, and you want to create your own debounce. So this is something you have on inputs. You can toggle debounce, but if you need to do it yourself, there is a way to do that, and I can show you how.
We have documentation on that actually. If you just because we have another question about network error, and it's
Well, then
honestly
another question.
yeah.
Let's take the other question.
It's an anonymous attendee, so I don't know who is asking the question. If you can let me know, that would help me add you as panelist. I don't know why Zoom does that sometimes. It flags someone as anonymous. And Karen is saying, yeah, someone else had a problem with the setting heights and it's not documented. That's true. And actually, it's going to be one of the videos of level 1 of the Academy is an intro to performances. And we'll mention that the fixed heights but you're right, we should add it to the user docs as well. So it's Theo. Let's see if I can add you. All right, let's invite you on.
Hi.
And in the meantime, hi, Theo.
Know if you hear me.
Yes, we hear you fine.
I was not attending that you will give me the speak so fast. So let me just isolate myself. Yes, as I just wrote, really I began on WeWeb, but I have like some experiences doing no-code automation and call API with different tool. And I'm currently working into one automation which is linked to helping my user to find addresses thanks to the Google API, Google Search API. I found a really interesting video post on the forum thanks to, I think it's Ryan Webb, something like this. Really interesting where he did like all the tutorial. I did like every step he mentioned, and when I face like testing the REST API code, it really doesn't work, and I don't know why.
Can you show us quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I just, so in the message you posted, it says network error.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
If you can see when.
So can you show? So on the left in the logs. Oops. Can you?
It's the
And
VRR.
if you scroll to the right, do you see? Does it just say Axios error? Okay, that's what you copied.
Yes, that's exactly what I copied.
Can you show us the action, the REST API request? Can you click on it?
So here there is my API key from the Google, and I did like an input search. It looks like this on my page.
Can you? Yeah. Can you?
Here I have like this the search field with result, and so the autumn is here. Unchanged, I think. Yes, unchanged. The first step.
Just can you show me the link? Can you click again on this action, REST API request?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
this one. And can you show me the URL? HTTPS maps, Google API. Okay, this is why you see at the end you have JSON 16. And
Oh,
this is not a correct URL.
okay. Yes,
But
sorry.
JSON at the end is weird. I think you can remove completely the /JSON and just keep autocomplete, something like this.
I still
Can you
do
show us the tutorial where?
yes, the tutorial just right here.
Okay, so it just says /JSON. Can you try adding \JSON and proxying the request? Because if I type in maps autocomplete on Google, it tells me that some people have had course issues. So if you can just type in /JSON and then proxy the request. So underneath you see, yeah, on. Can you try that? There we go.
Okay,
Yes,
that's a lot better.
yes, thank you. Oh, really, really nice. I was really beginning crazy with this.
Yeah,
No
it's
worries.
normal. When you have network error, usually it's a bad URL. I mean, a URL that is not confirmed, not a real URL, or like you just said, a course issue. Sometimes it's written network error, but it's because they are waiting for a call from a server.
Okay, thank you. That's perfect. And thank you for this office hours. It's really helpful.
Nice.
And
And I'll just share with you documentation about how to debug try to debug a workflow. I'll share that in the chat. There we go.
And yeah, Karen, you're absolutely right. That's because it's not on the same domain. So if you allow the domain to make the call,
Yep.
this could be feasible from the front end. But that's absolutely right.
Does that make sense, Theo?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because otherwise you can check out, we do have, I think we have a tutorial on maybe Google Maps where we show you how to add the domain as well. So that's why it's verified. Yeah, Google configuration. So I'll send you this as well. That way you'll have the step. You'll have the step where you configure the domain in the Google console, and then you can it will probably work without without proxying the request.
Okay, because I saw that before and I thought it was more like having just embed the map into my app, so I didn't use it first.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't. That's for embedding it in your a map in your app. But the part of the tutorial where you see Google configuration, it explains how to verify a domain, like how to add the domain. So you can use just that step of the documentation just to
Okay.
understand how to tell Google that your WeWeb app should be authorized to make that autocomplete request.
Okay, because what I did yet is just to do a proxy without having like any security about the URL, if I understand well. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, Karen is saying you can add editor.weweb.io/star as an HTTP referrer. And of course, once you publish the app, you'll need to add the domain of your published app as well. So if you have a custom domain, you'll need to authorize that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But don't worry, it'll make a lot more sense when you when you get there. You'll remember this conversation and think, "Ah, okay, I need to."
Yeah.
All right. Cool,
Yeah.
Theo. Thanks a lot.
And when you publish your application, don't forget to do that also for the published link. And if you redirect your application, think about it too.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks, Theo. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
And Karen is saying that proxying the request is a godsend. I hate course issues. Yes, absolutely. Do you want to show us quickly the debounce flow?
Yeah, I can show that. So let me just share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? It's not the right
Yes.
screen.
I see Florian's workspace.
That's perfect. That's the right one. Okay, so let me quickly create something like this. Okay. So in here, what I'm going to do is to go to libraries and I'm going to add the starter kit. Oh, it's already the case. It's the last version. Perfect. So let me go to add an in here in assets. If I look for counter, you have a component like this. We make it horizontal, and in this component, if you go to settings, you have debounce here. You can click on and decide whether you want to wait to trigger the workflow only after an amount of time. I mean, if I right click on this, it's going to update that, but the workflow behind will be triggered only once. So if I add a workflow on the instance here, on click, with a call on many things, I don't want this workflow to be triggered every time I clicked. I just want it to be triggered only once. So this is what debounce is for. And this component, this debouncing is done manually. It's not a WeWeb feature. So if I click here on import and edit, I'm going to import these components into my project because this one is living in the starter kit. So let me click import. And now I have this counter component in here in my project. Okay. So if I double click on it, or if I just click here and click edit, you're gonna see many things in here. And so in that component I've got in the layout, so just two icons and a number element, and this number element is bound to an internal value, core value in here. So every time I'm going to click on one of these icons, I'm going to first increase this this number. So if I click on this icon and I check my vote here, I'm executing a global workflow of this component. So this is an advanced feature. So I know it's hard and I'm doing this quickly, but at least you know that it's there and you can just dig in with these components. So basically it's triggering this upvote in here. And what I do is first, like we did before, I won't trigger this workflow if something is going on. Then I'm updating the internal value. So when you click multiple times, you see the change. But in here, if I have the debounce, so right now you need to add some JavaScript, but it made me think about no code action. But if you go in here and I open the JavaScript, so for the developers, this is what we call a set. You need to use a set timeout. So basically, this thing, so this workflow, so I took the idea of the workflow to execute it. This is going to be done only when the debounce time is done. So basically, every time this workflow is triggered, first thing, I cancel the previous set timeout. So let me say it like this. So the first time it goes there, I'm going to run this line only after this time. So this is a variable, but it could be a 3000 milliseconds, for example. So it's waiting 3000 seconds to be triggered, but if you do that before, it won't be triggered. This is how you create a debounce by coding. So every time I click, it goes there. First, it cancels the previous one, and then it's setting up a new one. So this is how you can create a debounce. So for advanced users and those who know JavaScript, you can just take a look to that. But thanks to this, and yes, I forgot that, but in here, I created an unchanged trigger. And I think this is what I trigger later. Yes, this is the workflow. Yeah, the workflow I'm triggering is just this one, trigger events. So in here, I'm sending back the data, but it could be something absolutely something else. But the idea is that when I do this multiple times, this workflow is going to be triggered only once.
Yeah, so Karen is asking, but I think you just answered it. If I click the button multiple times within the debounce, 600 milliseconds, it's only going to execute the workflow once.
Absolutely. So if you need to do that somewhere, somewhere in your application that where you are not using an input, you can do something like this within a component, and you can take a look to this counter component to kind of copy the logic.
And so it's built in the search, in inputs in general, and that's because it's a best practice whenever users type text. So for example, if you have a search and you're making a call, it's best practice that, you want to slow down a little bit, because if someone types in super fast, then you don't want to make, so many.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are using classic inputs, no worries for this. You can go here, go to settings, and you're gonna have this debounce feature ready-made for you. So if you add then a trigger, a workflow like Joyce said in here, this one is going to be triggered only after the end of time you put there. So in here, 500 milliseconds.
Nice. Okay, cool. That was an awesome session. Thanks so much, everyone. Micah is saying thank you for showing this flow. He has several ideas where he can use this. So I know Micah is very creative. So looking forward to what you build with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I wish you all a very nice summer or winter, depending on where you are in the globe, really. But we'll have a little bit of a break, and of course we'll still be in the community. Do not hesitate to to ask your questions in the community. We'll always have someone from the team on the team, and of course the rest of all of you who are amazing answering and helping each other out. So don't hesitate to leverage the community. New version of the Academy is coming, so all exciting things. Talk to you soon, everyone. Thanks again, Flo.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you, Joyce.